The thing I want to note real quick, and Tommy, I'll let you jump in right here. I just want to note also the value of Rudy Gobert, the casual basketball. I think about the people we just talked about: Paul George, Anthony Davis, guys previously, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett. These guys are like Hall of Famers. And I think for the casual basketball fan, they don't quite appreciate how good Gobert is, how valuable he is. We talked about this, Tommy, very early in the season. We did a whole segment on Gobert and how good he is and how valuable and how impactful he is. And I think specifically on this team with this lineup, he's going to be even better.
I was going to follow up to both of you guys. Jason from Minneapolis asked us about Rudy's fit with this particular team. Alex, what do you see? Do you see Cat? I mean, like how does this change things for Cat defensively with this makeup of this roster right now? What effect do you think he's going to have?
You know what it reminds me a lot about? It reminds me a lot of the LA team when we won the championship. You know, we would start AD at the 4, you know, save his body a little bit. Don't have him bang with the 5s the whole season, 82 games, because that's a grind, right? Like going into the trenches night in, night out, having to set screens, hit guys, rebound, run, block shots. It just reminds me of us having JaVale and Dwight, you know, to kind of do some of that dirty work. And then, you know, obviously they got to figure out their best lineup, but you know, it might be Cat at the 5 late in games, you know, spreading teams out, going 5 out, small ball essentially, like they like to say. But I think you'll make a good point. Like the fit, I think the fit is great, you know, because Gobert does all the things that Cat doesn't really do well, and I think, you know, Cat does things that Gobert doesn't do well. I think it's a good mesh. It'll just be interesting to see how it works, you know, when it comes down to the fourth quarter winning time, what their best lineup is.
And I also think with this team specifically, if Anthony Edwards takes the leap, and he had a bunch of moments throughout the regular season and the playoffs where you're like, wow, that could be the best player on a championship level team. If he takes that leap consistently, they're going to be one of the top 4 teams in the West. As good as the West is, I really believe that because I really believe in how good Gobert is. And if Anthony Edwards can be that guy, all of a sudden you're talking about legitimately like a conference finals level team.
There is one thing I think that's going to be, you know, overlooked. I think at the end of the day, it's a guards league, right? It's a guards and wings league. You know, even if you have a really good power forward or something like that, I feel like, you know, the best players are the guys that bring the ball up. I think that's, you know, from NCAA tournament to NBA playoffs, I think that's the biggest thing. And I think them losing Pat Bev and Jared Vanderbilt is going to be a something they're going to have to find out how to replace, you know, because those two guys Jared Vanderbilt went to the glass every time the ball was shot, he went to the offensive glass, and every time he guarded the best wing. And then Pat Bev obviously does what he does. You trade a little bit of that for Gobert at the rim, which, you know, is a nice give and take. But I think that's something else I'd be interested to see how that fits. You know, how they replace that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should note that Kyle Anderson, of course, signed there, and he could provide some of what Jared Vanderbilt did, but he's not Pat Bev in the sense of the spirit and the moxie and the aggravation that he provides on a nightly basis.
Great vocab.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.